All right, guys, I'm just getting set up. I'm going to be streaming on TikTok as well. So let me get that set up. Just want to make sure, make the most of the time. So we'll see how many people show up. I don't even know how we find other people on live on YouTube. I have a few followers on TikTok, so I'm using that as well. I'm about to go live there. Get my stuff organized here. I was using my mouse, so I have this over here. And I have a pattern that I'm following. Oh, here it is. It's a paid pattern, so. All right, let's get the light on here and extend my camera a bit. Okay. So I have my shop name here, but for some reason, I don't know why it's flipped backwards for you guys. So I'm going to use that for my TikTok stream. We will just go for it. So I'm working here on a beanie. So, and I'm using Red Heart Ombre Super Saver. And the color is Anthracite, I think it's called. Anthracite. This one is just about done with this part. I'm just going to be finishing this row, then I'll count how many rows, and I believe it will be ready for the edging then, the edging for like the bottom part of the hat. It's not a brim, the band. So yeah, so I'm just streaming here on my two platforms. May as well. I have a nice webcam now. I was going to go on Twitch, but it does not seem that I can use my webcam for that. If I can, I cannot figure it out. So here we are. But this way I have the content on my YouTube channel. Typically what I do is download it and then add it later. But this way I'm just streaming both at the same time. And then I can just have it download or have it there already. It should save there in YouTube. So today I'm working on a beanie. Right now I'm working on a beanie using Red Heart Super Saver Ombre. So thanks for watching me, tuning in. I'm also streaming right now on YouTube. So if you like a different angle, you can try that. But let me get some of this yarn out. This is a nice color for this beanie. I'm using this Anthracite Red Heart Super Saver Ombre. And this pattern is by Chibi We Crochet. So if you are interested in that pattern, you can check out her page. Let me show you her name so you can see that. And then you will be able to look for the beanie pattern. So here is the beanie pattern. It is Chibi We Crochet. Let me get it close for you. And then for my TikTok people. Chibi Crochet, that's her pattern. So if you are interested in that pattern, you can get the pattern from Chibi. But this beanie will be in my shop, and this is my shop name right here. I have a link in my bio on YouTube and TikTok, so you can easily find it. This is created using a double crochet. It is a paid pattern. And once I get around to the join, then I will count the rows and then see what my next step is, because I believe I will be starting on the band. The nice thing about this pattern is you can make the hat portion longer if you want to. You can customize it a little bit. So I'm just going to follow the pattern for the ones that I'm adding to my shop. You can see this is an ombre yarn. You can see it changes color, so it has a lighter gray at the top, darker gray down towards the band. So I will have this in my shop once it is finished and photographed. My goodness, I'm having a lot of tickles in my nose. So I think what I'm also going to do here is set a live goal. I always forget to do that before I start. So let's see, it has a default for Tucker the turkey, but I think we are going to go for the little TikTok thing. That's kind of fun. Let's do that. And confirm. There we go. So if you're interested in gifting, there's that goal. Otherwise, if you just want to watch, that's fine too. I love having you in here. If you have any questions, let me know. I am looking at my work, not the screen, so I will look at the screen, scroll through any questions, and answer as we go. This is a beanie that I am creating. And once I do this join, I'm going to count the rows. And then I will see. It might be time to start the band. All right, so I believe row 16 starts the band. Oh, guess what? Row 13 starts the band. So we are going to have a hat that is a little bit longer because I'm not going to tear it out, but you can see it has a longer, and then now I'm going to start the band. Not a big deal. But there is a special stitch that I need to read the instructions on that real quick. Here we go. Okay. The band is going to be, so chain 3. So then this is a front post and back post stitch, so that creates the band, so that gives it a ribbed effect and a little bit more stretch. Now I can move my stitch marker. I have a stitch marker here because that's where I was marking the row that I was counting from. So I'm going to put it right here at the beginning of this round, so that way I know as I approach the end, I will remember to do the front post, back post. I didn't start any music tonight. I just wanted to get on and stream with YouTube and with TikTok. So that's what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. And then I'm going to play around a little bit and see, because I thought I should be able to stream with Twitch using my webcam. My main goal, though, was using it for YouTube, because I thought when I had 50 followers, I could stream live with my phone, but I cannot. So that's why I got the webcam, and the webcam is actually really nice. I need to figure out a few more features. I think it's supposed to be able to zoom and pan left or pan right with controls through an app, but I have not researched that enough to figure that out yet. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for stopping in, hanging out with me on Saturday night. This morning I was working on inventory in my shop. I had a few new items to photograph, and then I had some other items that I had not listed, so I got those photographed, got those listed, and then I'm going to be adding this hat to my shop. If you are interested in this hat, you can even message me before I list it. I can invoice you if you like. So I made the mistake of going to Michael's. I was going to use my voucher, because when you join the rewards program, then as you buy stuff, hey, how's it going? Anthropology Minute, I love it. So anyways, as you buy stuff in Michael's, you get your rewards, and then you get your voucher, and then you can basically just apply that towards whatever you purchase. So I had one that expired the beginning of January, which that was kind of depressing. So I had a $5 one. So I went in there to use it, and of course I found some yarn on clearance, so I had to get that. But the current projects I have in progress are this beanie and a corner to corner, a Tunisian crochet, and Sophie's Universe. Sophie's Universe, I think, is probably going to be through this whole year of 2023. But I did also get some Craft Smart yarn, which is, I think, a pretty great yarn for a reasonable price. In my area, it's $5 for the skein, and the skein is almost 400 yards. And Michael's is having a deal, so it was buy 3 get 1 free. So then that's what, $16 for 4 skeins, so that brings the price down to $4 each. So I thought that was a good deal. And then I found the yarn on clearance was Karen cakes, not all of them though. I don't remember the exact ones, but I found there were 7 there for $7 each, but I only got 2. And then there was one sitting there for $5, so I grabbed that one, and then I'll figure out what to make with those later. I was thinking, because they're all kind of like in the pink family, originally I thought I would use them both together to make a blanket, but one is a very lightweight 4 and one is kind of a chunkier 5. So, I mean, I'm sure you've noticed that when you're doing, you're checking out your weights of your yarn, even if they're exactly both a 4, they still vary a little bit. Welcome, welcome. Hey guys, how's it going? Trying out my webcam, and I'm going live on YouTube as well. Usually what I do is download my TikTok videos to YouTube, but now I'm just doing it at the same time. So they're getting a different view. You guys get the overhead forward facing, and they get the kind of mirrored image because I have the webcam mounted in front of me and pointing at me. Yeah, so there's that. Oops, I think I messed up. Let me go back. I have 2 front posts. Yep, get back. I better double check before I get too far. Looks like that was the only one. Forgot to double check my stitch count before I started the band, but that's okay. I already made too many rows, so it's not like it's going to be perfect. So having it a little bit longer in the crown is actually good, because if you have a ponytail, then that will account for extra space for ponytail or bun or thicker hair. So welcome, welcome. I did remember to set a live goal tonight for the stream. So that's fun. This yarn that I'm using is Red Heart Ombre, and it is called Anthracite. It is a gray and light gray, dark gray ombre color transition. You can see the crown is a lighter gray. Now we're getting into kind of more like a pewter color there. I'll probably be able to finish this on live and then just have the ends to tie in, weave in. I think this is going to be 3 rounds of the front post, back post, and then we're here back at the beginning. Yeah, 3 rounds. And then I had miscounted on my initial rows, so it is longer crown. Get this off of here. I love these stitch markers, but this one's giving me a little fit. Okay, so I think, yeah, slip stitch at the top. Right. Okay. And then we just do 2 more rows and then we are done. Oops, I split my yarn. Just let's fix that. There we go. Hopefully I don't discover another error as I'm going around with the front post, back post. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for sharing the live too. I love it. Get some more people in here to see what we're working on. Add some more followers. Thank you for the follows. Trying to get the word out there about my shop. I do not have a shop on Etsy. Well, I do, but there's nothing listed in it. So my link in my bio will take you to my shop, and you can see all the different products that I have listed there. So that is one of the challenges of having a standalone site. You need to drive all the traffic there. So that's why I'm here, but also to entertain you guys. I am left-handed. I crochet left-handed, so letting you see that can be interesting, or so I've been told. Thank you, thank you. Hope you guys are having a good night. Hope you enjoy watching crochet. I got so many projects going. I could probably stay up all night if I physically could stay awake and still have plenty to work on. I have in my shop one little amigurumi duck. It's actually pretty cute. It's striped. It has kind of a different looking beak or bill. What do you call it if it's a duck? Beak or a bill? I think it's a bill. And then I have a little bear that I'm working on. Well, I'm not working on it, or it would have arms and legs. But I have this bear. He's not listed because he needs his arms and legs, which I was debating on that, or if I'm just going to put like a little heart so that it's like a little Valentine's bear. We'll see. He may end up in the shop too. So thanks for watching. I've got you here on YouTube and TikTok. So I will have this recorded and showing on my YouTube. It will be there and ready whenever YouTube processes it and posts it. I'm not really sure how that works. So if anybody knows about that, that'd be great. Hey Liz, how's it going? I'm trying out my webcam, so I'm live on YouTube as well. How's it going? I've got a million projects going, so I feel like I could stay up all night streaming with you guys if I could physically keep my eyes open. So now I'm working on a beanie like Kim was doing the other day. Oh, you got dinner? Nice. What did you have? Yeah, so I got this pattern from Chibi, and then as I was reviewing the inventory in my shop, it looked like I already made some beanies that are similar style, so I thought maybe I bought it twice. Oh well. Supporting a good creator. Ooh, Chick-fil-A. I pretty much like everything they have. The salad with the strawberries and blueberries, ooh, that's really good. Their nuggets are kind of weird, but I usually get the grilled ones. So maybe it's just the fact that they actually taste like chicken instead of whatever McDonald's makes theirs out of, which it's kind of gross, but I do like those too. This is a beanie. You can't really see the whole thing. Let me see if I can raise my camera a little bit. If I raise it too high, I can't see your comments and questions. And then I'm also streaming on YouTube, so there we go. So this is a beanie, and I'm using anthracite yarn. It is Red Heart Ombre. Yeah, I like the nuggets at McDonald's. I mean, it's kind of gross, but if I want something that tastes like chicken, I can cook at home. And I'm also streaming on YouTube. I got a new webcam, so I'm testing that out. I do not have a huge following over there. Oh, wait a minute. I think somebody is watching and commenting. Yay! Hey, Scrimshaw Rose. Oh, yay! Your daughter's left-handed too, Scrimshaw? That's awesome. Sorry, I wasn't meaning to ignore you. This is my kind of like initial debut streaming on YouTube. I'm so excited that you're here. Hopefully you can subscribe. It's free. You just hit the little subscribe button. And I'm also streaming on TikTok, so I'm working to answer both sets of questions. How old is your daughter? I started crocheting when I was 8. And luckily for me, my dad was left-handed and he taught me. And I have met a lot of left-handed crocheters in the TikTok community as well. There are some great tutorials on YouTube. And there are even some that do right and left-handed. So if you're right-handed and your daughter's left-handed and you guys want to do like a mini crochet along, you could do that, and you can follow the same tutorial person, but different tutorials for right or left-handed. Bella Coco is one, and I believe TL Yarn Crafts, but I'm not 100% sure. You can do that in the search bar and come up with, left-handed crochet tutorial. Usually the person that does that will also be presenting right-handed. Oh, she's in her 30s. Okay, awesome. Never too late to learn something new. I'm 58 and I learned TikTok and how to get on YouTube. I mean, I've used YouTube forever, but as a creator and presenter. So here I'm making a beanie, and this pattern is from a lady named Chibi Wee. Well, her name is Kim, but her channel name is Chibi Wee Crochet. And so I will be having this hat in my shop once it is finished. So I have a bunch of projects to work on tonight. This one now is almost done. I need one more round of this front post, back post. Let me get this connected here. I get my chain stitches so tight as I go around, then I can't see where to get the hook through to do the slip stitch. There we go. All right, so this will be one last round, and then I can tie it off, and I will tie in the ends later. I think the next thing I'll pull up is my Tunisian. So I've been crocheting since I was about 8, but it's not like I would sit and crochet each day. So I'm still learning new techniques and new stitches. So I appreciate other creators and people who do tutorials on YouTube and TikTok. Oh, you just finished a beanie too? Blue Rotten Potatoes. I love your screen name. Yeah, so this is from Kim of Chibi Wee Crochet, and once this is finished, I will list it in my shop. I do have some other hats listed in my shop, so if you're in need for a beanie, nice cozy comfy beanie, then I'm thinking I'll use this pattern to do a chunky beanie as well. Might have to adapt it a little bit so it doesn't turn out too big. We shall see. Have a great night, Liz. I think she already hopped off, but that's cool. Yeah, so I'm just coming on here to work on my projects so that I can, oh, your grandmother taught you scrimshaw? That's awesome. But I wanted to be able to get on and go live with you guys and then also finish up some projects for my shop. I added some new inventory. There is a link in my bio. You guys on YouTube have the forward-facing camera, so it's backwards, but you can see it's MDRNDAYMERCANTILE, and that's Modern Day Mercantile. Should be a link in the bio as well. Yeah, so I'm going to finish up this beanie. It's not difficult. It takes a little time, just a little time. And then I'll have this listed in my beanie, in my shop. So anybody who's interested, you can also go check out my shop. I have a bunch of different stuff. I have soap saver bags, kitchen towels, key fobs, beanies, hats, kitchen scarves. Those are a kitchen towel attached to a strip of fabric. You wear the strip of fabric across the back of your neck, so then the towel hangs in front. So as you're going around during your cooking or baking, you have the towel there to wipe your hands on. And then I also have slippers. I've got a lot of slippers in there. And what else? Oh, I have the amigurumi little duck that I told you about earlier. And I believe I have a couple blankets, maybe some pillows. I do create using my sewing machine, crochet, and machine embroidery. So you'll see a variety of different items there, created using different methods. And earlier today, I was working on a paper craft just for fun. There was another creator that I got to know here on TikTok, and she would sell the kits for paper flower shadow box. So I was working on that. That's a fun project, even for the most beginner. It's basically rolling up the pre-cut flowers and gluing them at the bottom so they don't come apart. And then you glue them into the shadow box. And she has different shape templates that you can order. I opted for the heart, so I had been working on that. I like to read, so I've been reading, trying to finish a book. It's a very small book, but I'm so distracted doing other things that it's taken a while. All right, so I think I'm coming, yep, here's the end right here. When I get there, then I'll tie it off. I'll set aside the beanie and I'll be able to weave in the ends on that another time. And then probably tomorrow morning, take the photographs and list it. And tonight I will move on to one of my other projects. I was thinking I would start another beanie, but I think I'll work on one of my other items that I have started already. Let's make sure everybody can see. I also have stitch markers in my shop. So if you're interested, oh, welcome back. I'm glad you got your hydration ready. And I am just about to the end of the beanie, and then I will be tying that off and weaving in the ends after I'm off the live, and then photograph and list it tomorrow. The pattern actually calls for this size hook, 5.25, so then that's why you get the effect where it's a little more airy. But you can actually use whatever size hook you want, but that is correct. There is a recommended size of hook on the packaging. I believe it's always an 5 millimeter, and this is a 5.25, I believe. So fraction of an inch. Oh no, I'm not sick. That's just my voice. I have like sinus issues, so my voice just gets raspy. But everybody always asks if I'm sick. Luckily for me, I rarely get sick. Like literally once a year, not even a cold. Ooh, oh no, I'm good. I thought I went right over the connection. I probably should have some water here, but I was so anxious to get on live with you guys that I didn't even pay attention, and I did not get my water. All right, so one more, and then we will do the slip stitch together. So usually on yarn, it will give you a recommended size, and that is so that you can make sure, recommended hook size, and that is so that you can make sure that your project turns out the size that you expect based on the yarn that you're using. I will show you what I mean in a moment. There's other factors that play into if you crochet really tight or you crochet really loose, that's going to make a difference as well. Okay, so there's the beanie. And if you want to test, are you a tight or a loose tension crochet, you can make a gauge swatch. So on the yarn, it shows you right here. If you make a chain of 12, and then you do 12 single crochets and 15 rows with a 5. It says 5.5 millimeter. I was looking at the knitting needles. 5.5 hook, then you should come out with a 4-inch by 4-inch square. Now this will be backwards for you on YouTube, but you can see here is the information I'm talking about. You won't be able to see it very clearly, but here is the information for the gauge swatch. And so that tells you the specifics, and it's usually on every skein of yarn. Sorry, I'm trying to get it closer for you. So then you can use that to kind of check if you are crocheting tightly or loosely with your tension. My tension stays pretty even. The pattern for this project called for, where does it say? It might be on, let's see, 5.25, the eye hook. Wait for. So then that way you can make sure that your item is finished in the same size that the designer intended. Okay, I have my water here. It was at my I have 2 workstations right here, so it was right behind me. Yeah, so there's the beanie, and this is using anthracite, and this is Red Heart, Super Saver Ombre, anthracite, and I love the ombres because they do change color gradually. There are some other yarns that they change abruptly, but sometimes it's a huge patch of like one color then another color. So I'm really loving the ombres right now. Okay, so this I'm going to set aside. I'll be able to weave in the ends tomorrow and then get that photographed and listed. I'm just moving my pattern out of the way and then move my yarn and my finished project. Here's my little sign I use when I need to step away. Be right back. I need to do it backwards for you guys on YouTube. All right, Scrimshaw Rose, what color are you using for your beanie? And what size is it going to be? I'm going to put my sign up because I'm going to go fill up my water. I'll be right back. Okay, friends. Now I think I'm going to be working on my Tunisian. So I'll bring that up to show you. Yes, of course, Bunny. So the funny thing about that gauge swatch, I have never done that before. I have never used this information. I just compare the 4 to make sure I get the same weight yarn. But even then, sometimes it feels differently. So when you're buying yarn, either know your brands or know your textures, and then sometimes you have to use the same brands because they vary a little bit. But in the beginning of this year, I did do a gauge swatch for the first time ever, and I was excited to see that my gauge is and my tension is kind of right on. I'm just grabbing my Tunisian. Okay, so this is the Tunisian. And if you have not worked with Tunisian before, I will show you. You can, if you have a smaller project, you might have one long Tunisian hook that is, you know, like a regular crochet hook, but it's longer. It's like 12 or 18 inches, and then it has like a knitting needle stopper at the end. And so this stitch is just the basic Tunisian. There are, which I learned probably a week ago, about 400 different Tunisian stitches. So all that means is a different way of combining the different aspects of the stitch to get different effects. This one I like because it makes a nice sheet of finished crochet. This blanket, now you'll see some white fiber. That's actually in the yarn. It's not dog hair. But this blanket, I started with the alpine stitch. That was using way too much yarn. So then, oh, amethyst. Oh, nice. That sounds amazing. What I'm using right now is an 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So it should be a little user-friendly. I think the care instructions are, let's see, well, it says hand wash. Me personally, I would put it on the most gentle setting on in the washing machine with a really gentle soap. So I switched from the alpine stitch to a single crochet and then a half double crochet. And then I started the waffle stitch. So this is kind of like a patchwork. It's definitely not from a pattern. It's just me winging it with my yarn. Excuse me. And then now I decided to do the Tunisian. So that is what I'm working on. Oh, okay, Scrimshaw. I see. So you're going to do playing around with the stitches. I love doing that too. Sometimes I'll start with the pattern, but then I start changing it up a little bit as I go. Okay, so let me just pull these. I have this long cord kind of needle or hook. So the stitches all go on this cord, and then there's a little stopper. So I have to tighten them back up to get closer to the hook so that I can pull them in and crochet. And then that way I can get my Tunisian going here. Oh, yay, Debbie, thank you. Yeah, so this blanket, I'm just making it on my own. I just started with a basic chain stitch and then started with the alpine stitch. So that's another thing. If you have an idea of what size you want the blanket to be, you can just go for it. Just look up online. You should be able to determine how many chains you need to start with, or if you're doing a corner to corner, just go for it. Like this one, I wanted really to do the alpine stitch, but I had really underestimated how much yarn it would take. So I was afraid I would run out because I had limited amount of this certain yarn. and it is, so first I started with, this is the sour cherry color. And then I moved on. This one I think is blackberry mousse. And these I had gotten on clearance in the fall, not the most recent fall, I think last year, like around December 2021. So I probably would not be able to buy more. Otherwise, I would have continued with the Alpine Stitch. So someday maybe I will make a lap blanket or something using the Alpine Stitch because it is nice. It just uses a lot of yarn. Another thing is I'm trying to add inventory to my shop, but I don't want to have blankets in my shop only for the fact of the amount of yarn it takes to make them and the amount of time. It's kind of cost prohibitive. I don't know that customers would want to buy a pre-made blanket at the price I would have to set. If they wanted to order it with their certain color, then that probably would be more reasonable for them. But not to buy just a pre-made with whatever color I decided to use, if that makes sense. Oh, you haven't tried Tunisian yet, Scrimshaw? And you know, I'm noticing the video is not fantastic on YouTube from what I'm looking at. I don't know that if it's my computer or, I mean, the webcam I have is decent, but you know, I'm not a professional videographer, so apologies on that. Hopefully it's still clear enough that it's enjoyable to you. But the Tunisian, it is pretty easy. So all it is, it's kind of like a cast on and cast off. Right now I'm in the return stitch. The return stitch is after you have all of the loops on the hook. When you're doing the return stitch, you're taking the loops off the hook. So you just yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. And then when I get to the end, you'll see how the loops get onto the hook again. And then there's other ways you can do the execution of the stitches where you skip one and yarn over and go under two, and so then it ends up with a different effect, like a diamond shape and, you know, all different stuff like that, which that's pretty cool too. I've done a few little swatches like that. And then I saw an interesting post today that was larger Tunisian squares, and then you connect those together. And Debbie, I think you had mentioned you did a project like that before. Debbie is one of my followers here on TikTok. Oh, thank you, Scrimshaw. Thanks for letting me know that the video is very clear. So I'm going to take my hook out real quick so that I can kind of move this up and show you how the stitch looks. So you can see how it looks kind of like there's a chain stitch pulled through the bars. So I'm calling these the bars, and then it looks like it's a chain stitch, but it's just the way that it's executed that makes it look that way. Okay, so now we're going to do the forward stitch. That is how you cast on the loops on the hook. So what that is you just do a yarn over. No, you don't do a yarn over. You have the bars here, so you can see the bars. I'll put my hook in so you can see the bars. And then for each stitch, you go under one bar, yarn over, and then just keep your yarn on the hook. So then when you get to the end, that's how you will have the loops to yarn over and pull through. You know what? I have an idea. I'm gonna try to pull the computer closer. I have the camera mounted there, and if I pull it closer, then YouTube and Twitch can get a better similar picture, so that I'm not going off screen. Did I say Twitch? I meant TikTok. Okay. So see, that's pulling, and then you're on the forward, and then when we get to the end, we would do the return stitch. Yep, correct. Oh, nice. That sounds nice. Long haul. Yeah, this is the most basic one. This is the first stitch that I had learned. I really like its effect and ease, because I like the solid kind of blanket look. And then, like you said, oh, do you see this right here? That looks like I made a mistake. I missed a stitch right here. Oh well, we're not going back now. But there's different ways that you can do your crossover and such. And then it creates a different effect. But I was surprised to learn that there's 400 different ways to do the Tunisian so that it makes different effects. Oh my gosh, now that's going to bug me. There. You know what? I'll probably try to go back in there with a piece of yarn and sew it, see if I can repair it somehow, just for the visual. Because what happens, I'll be crocheting when I'm falling asleep, because I think, oh, just one more row, just a few more stitches, and then that's what happens, and then I don't notice it. I did notice one the other night, so then I was able to back up and fix it. I don't remember if it was on this project or another project, but yeah, so this is the Tunisian stitch. This is the most simple basic stitch. I don't know what the actual name of the stitch is. Maybe it is the simple stitch. Hey, hey, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm just working on a blanket project. It's probably going to be a blanket for my home, and I'm using the Tunisian stitch. If you're interested, honestly, the best place, yeah, it does look like knitting, doesn't it, Scrimshaw? So I have some people watching on YouTube. I have some people watching on TikTok. But this is, I think, the most economical place to buy your hooks is going to be online with Amazon. I was at Joann the other day, and I was looking at a double-ended crochet hook, which I believe I read that you can use that for circular crochet or circular Tunisian. I don't remember. I wasn't sure how soon I would be using something like that, so I opted to not buy it at the store. At the store, they had a few different ones, and in my area, I believe it was $12.99. And so I thought, whoa, I'm going to just wait. Let me wait, see, the logistics of when I would use that, what I would use it for, and then decide when to buy it. So then I was looking up online to see videos on, when are people using this double-ended crochet hook and what projects and what is the process. And then I saw it was like $7 on Amazon. I believe it was the same brand, Clover. Scrimshaw, you're correct. There aren't as many holes. It's more solid. And you know, even this waffle stitch, if I hold it up, you can see holes, but the texture is really nice. It makes it kind of thicker. So I think it would be a little bit more warm. It wouldn't have that kind of effect when you adjust your blanket and you feel the cold breeze coming through. And that actually turned out to be kind of an accidental waffle stitch because I wanted to switch over to the double crochet so that it would create more blanket in shorter amount of time. But I didn't want it to just be a flat double crochet. So then, whoops, so then I did, what did I do? Front post, back post? Oh, front, I think I did front loop, back loop. No, I think I did do front loop, back loop. Anyways, it made the waffle stitch by mistake. And then I didn't know what it was called, and somebody was watching and they let me know. So I was grateful for that. And then I taught myself that stitch without even knowing what the stitch was called. So that was fun. I got my water filled up, so if my throat gets dry. So it's nice streaming with YouTube and Twitch or TikTok at the same time because I can see the timer on YouTube. And TikTok does not have that. Oh, yes. Sure thing, Cindy. Or Sindel Puppy. This is a blanket. So what I did is I started with the alpine stitch, and I'm just making my own pattern as I go. But this is the part of the blanket where I'm doing the Tunisian stitch. So it's about 36 inches wide, I think. And that's another thing why I think it'll end up being a blanket for my home. It's not going to be a standard size Afghan. And that's one thing with your own personal handcrafted items. You can determine the size yourself. Sometimes you just need it a tiny bit wider. You know, when you're watching TV, it's nice to have a blanket on your lap and kind of tuck it under your legs. Well, sometimes the blankets you buy from the store that are just fleece or whatever aren't big enough to do that. So it's nice to make your own and then make it as wide and as long as you like. You can make it like a really long rectangle or kind of a short chubby square. Yeah, so this is Tunisian, and this yarn is 80% acrylic, 20% wool. It is, so I don't know that this color will come back. It's a Karen cake yarn, and it is blueberry mousse. And it just says cakes. It doesn't specifically say like the cotton cake or the chunky cake or birthday cake or whatever, because I know they have like a million different other names for their cakes. I picked up some free patterns at Michael's, which is interesting because I hadn't noticed before on one of the end caps, they had like a rack with all the free patterns in it. And on the back of one of them, it was saying the Karen cotton something cake yarn. Well, of course, I could not find that exact one. So, because what I wanted to do is figure out how much yardage I would need to make that item. I couldn't find that cake. I think the pattern does also say the yardage, but I wanted to see also what was the texture of the yarn, what did it look like, because I have plenty of yarn at home. So that would give me an idea if I had the yarn appropriate for that pattern. Okay, so you see I'm casting these on. This is a forward part of the stitch. And then when I get to the end, I'll do the return part of the stitch. Welcome. Hey, Jackal. Thank you for the likes. The hook that I'm using is actually very long, but you can see, hold on, you can see it's like a cord. So it's actually about maybe 4 feet long, 3 feet. So the hook part is solid wood. And then it has this extension that is the cord. And that's because I bought them inexpensive on Amazon. Jekyll, I haven't seen you in so long. You must have been so busy. It seems like everybody goes live so late that I'm like already in bed ready to pass out because I start my day so early. And even when you guys are in a different time zone, it's like, what the heck? How do you guys stay up so late? I think because I get up so early. And then you know that darn job, 40-hour-a-week job. Happy to be employed though. But I am still exploring other options. So I definitely think of you when I'm thinking of all my different options. You know what I saw today, Jack? Oh my God, perler bead caps. Have you seen that? I couldn't figure out if it was closed end beads or if they're caps you put on when you're done. You don't sleep and wake up. Okay, so you don't sleep. If you're not asleep, how do you wake up? But I don't sleep a lot, actually, so I kind of know what you're talking about. So I'm streaming tonight on YouTube and TikTok. I like to add more content to my YouTube channel, so I thought I would go ahead and stream both at the same time. Okay, so like I was saying, now this is the return stitch. So you're just doing a yarn over and pull through 2. The very first stitch at the end, you pull through 1. And the Tunisian is very easy. You can make it more complex by learning more stitches. And I definitely recommend you looking that up because some of them are so amazing. And you can end up making something like a fisherman's sweater style, if that makes sense. So it has lots of different textures. Oh, it's curling up. Look, they all do. But once you get more rows, then it will flatten out. And honestly, at the end, I do not recall because the last blanket I made with full Tunisian was literally decades ago. What I did do recently is make some squares out of Tunisian, crochet around the outside with a traditional, like a single crochet or something, and then connect those together. So that got rid of the curl, but I did see some helpful hints on YouTube. So definitely look that up because there are others who do primarily Tunisian and they have a lot more expertise and great tips on helping with the curling. I think one of the recommendations might be to block your work. And I think another one of the videos I watched, it said something about the size of hook you're using, which, okay, yeah, definitely. Which I think it said if it's curling, you're using too small of a hook, but my crochet is so loose that I don't think that the tension is pulling it to make it curl. And it's barely curled. Well, it's kind of curling more as I go, but I'll have to be looking that up too. Well, good luck to you, Sugar Roots. I believe, I don't even want to say, but look up Bella Coco and TL Yarn Crafts. They have great tutorials and they are definitely experts in all things crochet. I just don't recall which one is more into Tunisian. I want to say TL, but I can't remember. Hey, thank you so much. Boiled hot dog water. Oh my gosh, I had to follow you. I saw you in, excuse me, in someone else's live. I'm like, oh my God, boiled hot dog water. I have to follow this person. Obviously, that doesn't elicit thoughts of crochet, but boiled hot dog water, how can you pass that up? But thank you so much. Thanks for coming in to say hi. Thanks for sharing the live, Debbie. So tonight, you guys, I'm on YouTube and I am here on TikTok. So I have a YouTube channel with the same name. And usually I download my TikToks there. So I have like 50 or 60 videos, but I also download my Twitch. So part of those videos are little short videos. Some are longer videos. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out too. I am not a YouTube expert. I do not edit. I don't tell you to smash the like button and subscribe and all that crazy stuff. It's just me replaying my live or uploading from Twitch or TikTok. So if that interests you, go for it. And then I think the other day I tested my webcam with a YouTube live, and then I think I just deleted the video because it was maybe 2 or 3 minutes and it really was just a test. But I'll see tonight when I end how it looks to save the video in YouTube as far as what that process is. But I'm always trying to learn something new, and TikTok, it's so finicky. You say one wrong thing and someone reports you or some crazy baloney. And so I wanted to make sure everybody kind of gets in the habit of checking the link in the bio and then going and finding the other channels and see, have I become more active on one of the other channels because of something maybe that happened with TikTok, right? So just a heads up on that. Oops. So even all the way to the very end, you're just going to do yarn over and pull through 2. So there you go. That's the return stitch. So you do the forward stitch and then the return stitch. I think overall Tunisian does. Thank you, Scrimshaw Rose. Blocking would help, and if you wash it, it will come out. As far as the curling, yes, I think you're right. I think overall it will take a little bit more yarn, but as you noted, this doesn't have holes. So, you know, it's only natural that it would assume that it would take more yarn. I'm not real great at following patterns and knowing exactly how much yarn each project takes, because I usually use yarn that I already have. I don't usually purchase yarn specifically for a certain project. Now, the next time I try to do alpine stitch, I probably will purchase yarn specifically for that project, just because I would want to make sure I have enough yarn to continue with the stitch. Now, this is a very dense stitch. If I pull this apart, you could probably see the holes, but not too much. So another thing on this one, when I was doing the waffle stitch, it kind of pulled it in a little bit, so the edge is like kind of curving in, so that I would need to block as well. So all right, so I'm going to be switching over to another project, but I'm going to go ahead and end my live stream on YouTube. Scrimshaw Rose, if you're familiar with TikTok, that would be great if you wanted to come over to TikTok. and check it out. Otherwise, hopefully I will be uploading. I might stop my TikTok too and come back. That way I can upload the portion that I don't have on YouTube after I take a break. And then we would have the new projects showing up in part 2 of this live. All right. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to come right back on TikTok. I'm just going to end so that the stream can save and process, and then that way I can upload part 2 to my YouTube channel. All right, so please come on back. I'll just hop out and hop right back in. All right, let me just end my stream here with YouTube. Thank you. Have a great night, Scrimshaw. Thanks so much. Good luck to you with your projects. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. TikTok.